welcome here to the home of the undisqualified champion and of course Ferrari's biggest fan, as we are going to go to the second third of the 2025 FIA Formula One season, and of course it is now time as we go to the new third for the new haircut. So do let me know how I look in it. You know, definitely looks more handsome, definitely look ready for the summer, as obviously the May will turn into June and the spring will very soon turn into the summer. Guys, it is time for this amazing race, the Spanish Grand Prix, which will take place at the Circuit De Barcelona-Catalunya. It will be the round 9 of the 2025 FIA Formula One World Championship, as you can see on that lovely calendar there behind me. And of course, it is also Barcelona is the home of FC Barcelona, our favorite football club. Obviously, you can see, you know, we are also sporting Barcelona fashion. This is also the track where we have driven the real Scuderia Ferrari race car, the sports car, obviously the Ferrari F4A8 Spider. So definitely check it out. You know, that's one of the highlights, obviously, of my racing career. So we are very excited to be here. You know, as you know, this European leg of the Formula One season has you know, really heated up, from obviously going from Imola, Autodromo Internazionale Enzo and Dino Ferrari, to Monaco, obviously the Circuit de Monaco, the crown jewel of Formula One. And now, as all the races are together, it is the final round of the second triple header of the season, which is obviously the Spanish Grand Prix race at the Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. And we will tell you everything about it in this exclusive race introduction, obviously new for the 2025. Lots of things will be now happening from the time the checkered flag has obviously flown in Monaco. Or fell in Monaco, I should say, to the start of the race, when the 5 lights will come out, you know, and that iconic Circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. Well, obviously, you know, the new game, the F125, is pretty much being released as we speak, so we are really looking forward to it. So there might be slight change, we will see. We definitely want to do, you know, the time trial to, you know, show you, you know, how to obviously race it with the 24, but also with the 25 cars, because again, it's a 2025 season. So I'm definitely looking forward to it and seeing, you know, if I can be faster than the real Formula One drivers. So, you know, this race introduction may or may not now happen, obviously, kind of one day before the race weekend, which is you know, pretty good as well. And then obviously on Fridays for practice 1 and practice 2, you would then have the hard laps with the F124 and F125 cars, because obviously the F124, that's all prepared for you. The red hard lap will then happen during practice 3, and then we have qualifying in the race. So and then obviously the exclusive race reaction then coming 24 hours after the checkered flag has fallen off. What we really hope will be the new start of the season for Scuderia Ferrari. And there are another, you know, there's another set of news that we definitely have to report on, as obviously you do know one of the issues that we have nowadays in the season is the flexible wings. So we will see exactly what happens. As there will be a new directive produced by the FIA, and there will be more checks related, especially, you know, to these wings, and especially the flexible rear wings, especially on the orange McLarens, because obviously on the Scarlet red Ferraris, you know, they look great. They actually do look, you know, pretty stable on the Red Bulls as well. But Mercedes and probably McLaren, you know, can be severely hampered. So it would be great, as we obviously almost have gotten that pole position. We've gotten the pole position, the sprint pole position with Lewis Hamilton in China, almost gotten it with Charles Leclerc for the Grand Prix, and you know, that will really be the goal over here for this particular weekend, right? So we gotta make sure we take advantage of the directive. We do believe also with the new upgrade, there could be several changes in terms of the pecking order. You saw some teams like Aston Martin, especially with Alonso, who's really unlucky so far this season, and still without the point. You know, they did manage to bring in the upgrades, and actually it pushed them up the pecking order. And here, to be honest, we've always been about 2, 3, 4 tenths, you know, off the regular pace anyway. And in lots of the races, we could have definitely beaten the McLarens. You know, sometimes you could have seen, for example, like in Miami, right? If we're running ahead of them, for example, then we can stay ahead of them. definitely that was proven ever since, pretty much, when Lewis Hamilton was leading the sprint race and went on to win it in a spectacular fashion for Scuderia Ferrari, right? So it will be very interesting to see what happens, and this probably could be the critical or the key race for the whole championship, because we just one third, in the championship, so anything is recoverable. Obviously, the first third ended on a high note in Monaco, but it could have and should have been much better, definitely by Ferrari standards, as we are still languishing fourth in the constructor standings, and our drivers are obviously fifth and sixth in the driver standings. We will also then, take a look, what exactly the objectives are. But yeah, obviously, after we, as most of the fans, are looking forward to finally racing the F125 cars, hopefully we can get the early access so that we can produce that hot lap for you. If not, obviously, then we will start from June and the Canadian Grand Prix. You can also notice this year, right, in the calendar, the Canadian and Spanish Grand Prix, they changed the dates, they changed the position, right? So that also means it will be hotter in Canada but cooler in Barcelona. Will that play to our favor? We certainly hope so. And we will also talk about our achievements, as we always striving to live this beautiful, shiny golden Formula One Grand Prix winning trophy. How well we've done in Barcelona, as we're getting better and better, because obviously this is one of our favorite, if not the most favorite city in the world. Obviously we are big FC Barcelona fans. And I'm sure all the players, will finally have the opportunity to see the race, because it doesn't happen when they are still competing, as the season's pretty much over, and we can enjoy it as we had an amazing La Liga triumph, right? So over here, let me take a look over here, and we will use this beautiful Scuderia Red Retina iMac to show you the track. So without further ado, let's take a look at it over here. Okay, so this is how the track looks like for our exclusive race introduction. I hope you can see it very nicely. And yeah. Again, that long straight, obviously the track was introduced for the Olympic Games, right? And it's quite amazing that if we think about it, that there have been a further 8 Olympic Games happening. 7 obviously concluded. 7 is our lucky number, with the 7 championships for Michael Schumacher and obviously Lewis Hamilton. But yeah, the Paris Olympics would then be the 8th Olympics that have happened ever since. Obviously, the race have made it onto the calendar as part of obviously these Barcelona Olympics in 1992. So you can see, we will definitely check out the hot lap. On Fridays, well, we will show you how to race it. We've again done a great job there. Great overtaking opportunities. We've also been on a podium, which is located right up over here. Then the track features the corners of all sorts. That is also why it is used as the testing circuit. And yes, some blind corners, like for example the 9th corner over here, turn 9, is really challenging, but nowadays pretty straightforward with the cars. And recently, basically since 2023, you can see turns 13 or 14 are back, so you do not have that chicane that was added there. It was funny when we were at the Circuit De Barcelona-Catalunya. They told us it was on the request of Michael Schumacher, but I do not believe so, because obviously it's much better, to have the really fast exit onto the main straight, when you can then use the full effect of the slipstream, and to go for a victory. Okay, lucky 66 laps. Hopefully we can, make it to the checkered flag again in 1 and 2 position. That would be fantastic for Scuderia Ferrari. Obviously, the home of the Spanish Grand Prix, just like with the Imola, for example, this triple header, will probably very likely not be happening, for several years, because the Spanish Grand Prix is due to move to Madrid. So we will see what exactly happens with Barcelona. But again, why not call it the Grand Prix de Catalunya, right? The Spanish Grand Prix, though before it was in Barcelona, it was obviously at many different tracks. For example, at the Montmelo, which is around the Olympic Stadium there in Barcelona. There were several different venues. This is how it looks like. Okay, so you can see Scuderia Ferrari, we were actually very successful over here. We also have the pole here from the Circuit De Barcelona. This is the new reprofile, turn 10 basically, which comes after that blind corner that I just described. Heavy braking zone, gotta be careful so you don't spin out. Definitely check out my race when it then comes out. And yeah, here the statistics for Scuderia Ferrari, right? So we can see that we won here 12 times. We were, especially Michael Schumacher, very successful here in Barcelona, but also, for example, the home hero Alonso's won here. I believe Massa also had a victory as well. So overall, quite a successful hunting ground over here for Scuderia Ferrari. Charles Leclerc definitely could have won if he didn't have the power issues in 2022. So a lot to look forward to. Even better in terms of pole positions, we got 14 fastest laps and 38 podiums. So it's pretty much given that we will be on a podium. This is really what we have to be aiming for. With the upgrade, obviously with the new technical directives from the FIA, it will be absolutely crucial that we take a full advantage of that and go up the pecking order, because again the goal is obviously to win the Drivers and Constructors Championship, right? Yes, especially after missing, by tiny margins last year. So these are the statistics for Scuderia Ferrari. So we will see again, if we can expand on it. Definitely starting with the first race victory in the 2025. That would be brilliant. Here will be the competitors that we will be going against. So the Oscar Piastri leading with 161 points, but his lead has shrunk to just 3 points. Lando Norris, the Monaco Grand Prix winner, is second with 158 points. Third is Max Verstappen with 136 points. And because Verstappen has won 2 races, Piastri has won 4. It means that even though Verstappen victory and Piastri's DNF and perhaps Norris not even finishing in the top 8 would result in Verstappen having also 161 points, he cannot be leading the World Championship because there is no point for the fastest lap, and because he would have less race victories. And this is how sometimes the title would be decided, just as for example him and Hamilton when they obviously fought for the 2021 title. Alright, fourth is then obviously George Russell with 99 points. Fifth is then Charles Leclerc with 79 points. And obviously for Leclerc, again, he has a great chance over here to leapfrog George Russell. I think that would be obviously great if that can happen, but we are 20 points behind, so that will be a little bit challenging there to do. Lewis Hamilton is sixth with 63 points. For Hamilton, yeah, definitely it will be all about, we will see, who will be faster, right? It will be all about also catching up with Russell. We should set the sights on the 4th place. And yeah, if he can finish ahead of Leclerc, that would obviously be fine. We will see, how well, Leclerc and Hamilton can do well together. 7 is Andrea Kimi Antonelli, 48 points. And, again, he doesn't want to finish the second triple header of the season, scoring 0 points. 8 is then Alexander Albon, 42 points, punching above his weight in the championship. 9, Esteban Ocon, 20 points. 10 is then Isaac Hadjar, 15 points, thanks to that great strategy by the Racing Bulls in the Monaco Grand Prix. 11, Lance Stroll, 14 points, who usually collects the points when obviously the other drivers are unlucky. 12 is then Carlos Sainz with 12 points. 13, Yuki Tsunoda, 10 points for Red Bull. We will see that, this obviously Tsunoda's position is great for us in the Constructors Championship, because again, it will almost for sure allow us to get ahead of a Red Bull after the Spanish Grand Prix has been completed. 14 is Pierre Gasly, obviously, in that race reaction for the Monaco Grand Prix. I confuse him with his best childhood friend Ocon, but yeah, he's 14 on 7 points. 15, Nico Hülkenberg, 6 points. 16 is Oliver Behrman, 6 points, and 17, Liam Lawson, who has gotten off the mark with 4 points. Still out of the points. 18, Fernando Alonso, 0 points. He definitely has to get the points here at his home Grand Prix, and I'm sure he will. 19, Jack Doohan, 0 points. He won't be competing, so he will stay there. 20, then Franco Colapinto, 0 points. So we will see, how strong Alpine will be there. 21st, Gabriel Bortoleto, 0 points. Obviously for Bortoleto, probably Kick Zauber would have to get lucky in the race. So yeah, for us, it would be great if Leclerc could make it to the 4th place, but if we are right, again, on the heels of Russell, that will be good enough. Here in the Formula One teams, the Constructors 2025 Championship, so McLaren is leading with 319 points. Mercedes is then second there with 147 points, and you can see how close it is between obviously Mercedes and 3rd place. Red Bull 143 points, and us Scuderia Ferrari 142 points. So basically, if we're gonna go for a victory, score a podium, at least a double podium, do not let the McLarens win, otherwise they could just run away with the championship. We will be second, and it will be just like the second half of the last year, the Olympic 2024 season. Where will we be going? for the Constructors title. So yeah, I'm really happy that we recovered all of the points as expected. 5th is Williams, 54 points. 6th, Haas, 26 points. And look at Racing Bulls in 7th place, 22 points. They did very well in Monaco and kind of distanced themselves from 8th Aston Martin. They have 14 points. 9 is then Alpine, 7 points, and 10 as you were Kick Sauber with 6 points. So yeah, it's quite interesting how the table looks like. But yeah, for us, clearly, you know, the objective is more on the constructor side to be second, and after we then depart, obviously, for the short break. Yes, this is once again the Drivers' Championship. This is how the circuit looks like. Definitely do check out the hot laps over here. So we will show you how to drive it, hopefully with both, you know, cars, obviously the most fashionable F124 car and with the new F125 car. With regards to me, Jan the Smallixan champion and Ferrari's biggest fan. So you do know, in Barcelona it started off with a torrid race in 2010-2010, but I still managed to plant it on the pole position 2 times, including, you know, the very first time I've done the qualifying, and obviously last year as well. So we will be chasing our 3rd pole position. We also got 2 fastest laps, so definitely chasing the 3rd fastest lap. And you do know how successful we are, obviously, when we are chasing the lucky 3, right? And yeah, then you know, with regards to the podium, so actually, you know, won 1 race, but finished on the podium twice for the 2nd places. Obviously, you know, 2nd being to my teammate before, who was Vettel, and obviously Nico Rosberg, one of our favorite drivers. So you know, have to say that we are definitely aiming for the 2nd victory, 4th podium over here, and I definitely think we can get it, because I think we are absolutely plenty around the Circuit De Barcelona-Catalunya. But again, you know, we were not that successful until recently, but in the you know, in this new era, obviously, with you know, the ground effect cars, we are much stronger than we were, for example, with the old spec cars, right? Where it was pretty much more about the power, where maybe we did struggle a little bit, but nowadays, you know, with the aerodynamics, obviously, all sorts of different corners, we are very strong. So you know, definitely do check it out. It will be very, very exciting, you know, weekend that is you know, coming up. Obviously, due to the change with the Canadian Grand Prix, we'll see the Canadian Grand Prix first for my 2024 season, which I'm doing concurrently with this year's championship. But nevertheless, you know, we are very excited over here, you know, and we hope that we can win that first Grand Prix of the season. So wish Scuderia Ferrari all the best of luck. This was the exclusive race introduction to the start of the 2nd third of the season. It's really flying by, doesn't it? We got a new haircut. Obviously, we got the new tweaked, you know, directives and the better enforced rules. And obviously, we got a new upgrade. And I'm sure it will be a new start for us as we start to chase these elusive 2025 Drivers and Constructors titles with this SF1000 T800 Trustmaster Formula One Racing Simulator for Scuderia Ferrari, right? Exactly! So everybody, let's enjoy the race, you know, and let's enjoy the celebrations of, obviously, FC Barcelona, you know, winning that amazing triple this season. That was absolutely amazing. Congratulations to FC Barcelona. And let's make them proud with the Spanish Grand Prix, or should we say the Catalan Grand Prix victory here at the Montmelo in Barcelona. Forza Ferrari!